Sometimes I look at life, figuring am I doing it right? That's right. Come close like Common, but not treating my light. Focus is cool, I despise the appetite. So what? I'm a fair av kid who grew up in the yaks with the spams that ain't had shit. The hustle is an inventive gift. Didn't want to make beats, but I was impressing them then. So I put the pressure in myself. Move up out of town that only gave them hell. Hope to make a bridge for everyone else. The world a better place when you apply it to health. Living longer is wealth. Let's go.
This is Sneak's View, episode 1, here with longtime car enthusiast. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell you what city he's out of. Go ahead.
Robert Munoz, Yakima, Washington.
So, Robert, tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Give me your background.
Well, I've been lowriding clothes for 25 years here in Yakima. Born and raised all my life. Kind of just picked up the bug. When I was younger, my older brother, he was heavily involved in the lowrider scene back in the day, early 90s. You know, did all the local car shows back then, those days, and I kind of just caught the bug and never let it go ever since.
That's good. So, quick story, you said your brother back in the day. One of the things that I always remember about your brother is he had a probe.
Yeah.
He had I can't even remember what year it was.
It's funny now, but back then, dude, it was a brand new 1990 Ford Probe, bro. And in those days, everybody had the popped out wheels, like sticking a couple inches out of the front, out of the car.
I remember that, like with the Suzukis and the Hondas, the Geos.
Oh yeah,
that was the thing. Almost looking like a frog.
Yeah, that was it, bro. But he was one of like the first cars out here like that. He was hardcore, full throttle. He's always been in the scene. Did a little bit of car clubs, but mostly. He was heavily involved in the car shows, man.
I do remember that.
Yeah, there was a couple big shows out here at the Speedway and then at the fairgrounds. He brought like Local 64, Rap with Envy. A lot of these big heavy hitters from California that people up here in the Northwest have never seen before, So it was just cool having those guys come down, Then obviously all the, the local guys in the Northwest, would come down. They'd all come down. My brother would throw this big old party every year, right before the car shows. That too. Yeah, it'd probably be like 30 or 40 cars on my mom's property, just all piled in, parked everywhere, kicking it. Cars getting buffed out. You'll be like 20 different extension cords, people charging their batteries. It was like the real deal, man.
I do remember. I recall, your brother was known. In Yakima, I remember lowriding was starting to come into effect, and I remember Joel. I remember him putting on one of the first lowrider shows at the Sundome, and being at the Sundome is a big thing.
Oh yeah.
And so I remember his show. He had performers and so on, and God, one of the best stories I have of him or of his car is when you stole it, and we went cruising when we were supposed to be in school.
Oh yeah. My brother was at work and he was carpooling, so his car would just stay in the garage, and I had to take that bad boy out of the garage and go for a cruise.
I remember we rolled that.
You
You remember when you were trying to pull it back in the garage, you almost crashed because of how the tires popped out?
That was so brutal. But yeah, I did it a couple times, and then the second or third time, I believe, I got caught. My brother caught me.
So he caught you?
Yeah,
oh,
he got home early from work, and it was probably like 10 minutes after I just got there, and he went to the car, and it was warm, and he was like, "What?" He got all pissed off, and he probably beat my ass back then. I don't remember, or I don't want to remember.
I had a concussion, so I forgot.
But yeah, but shout out to my brother Joel Munoz, man. Love you, bro.
So with starting with all that, because I remember, I remember multiple things that you did. I remember you did model cars, bikes, cars. What was originally started? Where did you start? Did you start with the models? Did you start with
Oh,
the
yeah.
bikes or the cars?
It was always the models first because it's like the cheapest entry level to do anything. You know, you love the cars.
Model cars, not
Model
models.
cars, yeah,
model
not-
cars.
Model cars, the little toy cars, you know, yeah. They were cheaper, more for affordable. You could build one for like 30, 40 bucks, give it a little cheap paying job, you know, but we would go hardcore, you know, on them back then. Nowadays, they're top level, like you could spend $500 on a model car. It could do everything.
Yeah, you talking about model cars, man. I was looking at that remote control 64.
Oh yeah, man, those are cool, dude.
I'm just like, do I want to
I
spend the
know,
money on it?
man. It's like it's a toy, like but yeah, once the price goes down a little bit, maybe I'll play with one.
Did you see they have a Monte Carlo 79 one now?
I just barely seen that. Yes, I did.
So that's something to think about. It's a little cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, maybe.
So then you did model cars, and then what followed up after that?
We did a little bit of the bikes. The bikes was more expensive back in the day. We were poor kids. You know, everything we were doing, it was very rare that we would buy something. There was a bunch of trading, you know, wheeling and dealing with people trying to do stuff, man. The first bike that I ever did, I bundled the center freaking piece, you know, and man, like I sold the bike to somebody like 2 years later, and they opened it up, and there was still fresh bondo inside of it that never hardened.
It didn't dry up.
Yeah, you live and learn, you know.
True.
It never dried up, or I didn't mix it right, you know.
What was the first bike that like? Because I know me and you went to shows a lot.
Oh yeah.
You know, we were competing back and forth with the bikes. What was one of the bikes that you would say you were known for?
Well, it wasn't. I did the majority of the work on a bike, but it was for my wife. It was my girlfriend at the time. She caught the bug and she wanted to do a little something. So we did a bike for her. We called it the Real Deal. Yeah, it was just a full little custom bike, not too crazy like they do nowadays, but just enough to get her in the door. But yeah, it was pretty hardcore back then, man. The show scene for the bikes was crazy, man.
Yeah, I do remember.
Ooh, yeah.
I remember we went to the Portland Lowrider show. Remember how many bikes they had there?
Dude, there was a whole section just like in like all top-notch, high-level, bikes. So you're just like, and people would go to them because the kids love them. Everybody loves them. It's just like a thing about them that brings you to them, and you get that attention, and it feels good,
I agree. That era of my life with my son, I think, was one of like the best moments, because not only were we at the shows, but we were also spending time together, enjoying, looking at the
You're
views.
making memories,
Exactly.
know what I mean? I didn't understand it a whole lot back then like that, because we would give you a hard time about bikes. We're like, dude, you're a grown-ass man, dude, blah, blah, blah. But now I got kids, I got little ones, I see that bond, and I see what you were doing, and, you already had that part figured out back then, so that was cool, man.
Yeah, no, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So then you did the bikes, and then what was the first car that you built?
My first car was a 79 Monte Carlo that my pops gave me. Clean, beautiful grandma car, man. Love that car. I was the first one in my family to get any car from anybody,
So you were spoiled.
Oh yeah, I was the baby. Well, I wasn't the baby, but they spoiled me like I was the baby. But yeah, 79 Monte. So I did the simple things, just put a set of wheels on it, drove it like that for a while. Eventually, just interior, paint, and switches. It was a clean, nice, fun car,
I remember that Monte. That Monte was pretty well known. But I think I always look, because I've seen all the cars you built.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around you as long as I can remember. And I always feel that out of all the cars you built, because you have built, badass cars later on in life.
Thank you.
But I think the one car that separated you from the rest in Yakima was Grapevine. And the main reason I feel is, one, you did the sliding ragtop, which I think was an awesome move.
That was like unheard of. I was like me and another cat that like had the only ones around,
And that was the purple. Because back then, driving around in the color purple was like a big no-no.
Oh yeah, that car stood out, and that was the thing, man. That car stood out, and the thing about that car that made that car so famous and so known is because back then we would go everywhere, every show, every cruise. If it was in Washington State or the Northwest, we were there. It was from Spokane to Apple Blossom over there, and what's it in
Apple Blossom.
in Wenatchee, you know, Seattle area, multiple times. You know, Portland Car Show, and we always drove that car. We always went everywhere. You know.
I do remember. I do remember you taking that car everywhere. That car, I remember going to shows like Chelan, you know, Chelan, Portland, whatever. And I remember that car. That car was everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You know, I do remember the one story. You had a story. I'll let you tell it because you tell it pretty good. When you were taking the Grapevine to an actual photo shoot.
Yeah, well, it was we were going to the Portland Lowrider Magazine car show. That was a big deal back then, you know. Lowrider Magazine, you know, that's the where we get the most recognition from, right? Well, anyways, we were going to that show. We pre-registered. You send pictures, and they called me up. They're like, "Hey, man, we've seen some pictures. We like your car. We want to see if you want to do a cover story on you." I was like, my car was nice, but it wasn't like a full show custom, you know, like all done type of car, you know. And they're like, "We want to do it, blah blah blah." So I'm like, "Yeah, already." I drive my car everywhere. This time my brother-in-law's helping me out. He's like, "Let's tow it, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "All right, let's tow it up there." Well, we get to Portland, and right when we're in Portland, we get cut off by some car, and we run the car right into the wall. Yeah. My car comes off the trailer, off into the back of the Suburban that's pulling us. The Suburban's totaled. The front of my car's thrashed, ripped my brake lines. It was just a nightmare, man. I called the Lowrider Magazine photographer. Hey, man, we got into a car accident. He was like, "Oh, okay. I'll get somebody else in." Like, shit,
no love, huh?
No love. I lost my opportunity, you know. But thank God nobody got hurt. You know what I mean? We took the car off the trailer. I had some buddies there that helped me out get the brake lines fixed, and we drove it back to Yakima. Didn't even go to the show, man. We were done.
The first time that you ever trailered it, and that's what happened.
First and last time. Like, man, I don't trailer cars no more. Like, everything I build, I try to build it so we could drive it and take it to the show, you know.
Good, man.
Nothing against those guys. It just doesn't work for me, man.
And that's, I mean, I don't really remember you towing any other car after that, honestly.
No, man. Everything else that we had has always been driven.
What other cars you build after that one? Because I'm pretty sure that set the tone, right?
Yeah, I want to say, let's see. Had a couple Caprices, a couple Cadillacs.
I do remember them.
I'm trying to think, man.
Cadillacs were purple.
Yeah, big bodies, you know. That's always what I like. Caprices, Cadillacs, the Monte Carlos. I haven't really. Trying to think. That's all I've stuck to.
Pretty much. You didn't you? I remember for a while there you were doing a '98 Lincoln.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I had the town car.
That one. What'd you end up doing with that one?
That one I sold it to my boy Chapo. I got it like probably like 85% done, and then my buddy sat in my shop for like a year, you know, not done, and then my buddy just, you know, came over and offered me the right price, and I was like, take it. He finished it. It came out really, really nice. Had full chrome undercarriage, chrome exhaust, chrome mufflers. Like it was pretty badass, dude.
I've seen pictures of it. I'll layer them over this interview so people can see them.
No, that's cool.
And so I've seen pictures of it. It looks nice. I haven't seen it up front, but like I said, I don't doubt your work. And Chapo's actually been doing excellent.
Boy, Chapo, man, that guy, he loves the stuff. He loves lowriding. He got so many projects going on at one time.
He's got that bug, man. He's all over it.
He's hardcore, dude.
So
but that's the thing, man. Just trying to, you know, keep it going and keeping it moving forward, because you know it ain't like it was back in the day.
Nah, everybody's switching pace.
No, yeah, everybody's slowing down. Well, you know, like different areas, California and stuff, they're still hardcore. You know, like Vegas shows next week. You know, and dude, it's hardcore. That's the place to be. You know, if you like lowriding, it's next week in Vegas. You know, but as far as Yakima, it's like died down big time, bro. It's all. A lot of these, you know, the imports are still kind of going on, but a lot of these trucks, man, everybody wants these single cab trucks, and they're nice, don't get me wrong, but it's just like...
It's a new trend.
You know, it's what's going on.
I've been watching those videos left and right, and the trucks everywhere, all the way down into like Mexico. Everyone's just, it's all about them trucks right now, single cab. what is it? A rear wheel drive, so you
Yep.
can slam them.
They all want the trucks, and then everybody our age and stuff wants to, buy the Harleys, and I'm like, oh no.
It's like a midlife crisis.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, they look cool. Don't get me wrong. Our boys, they have some pretty nice bikes, but it's just like, it's nope, no, thank you, man. I gotta stay truthful to my low riding.
Yeah, you haven't switched. So, I mean, my next question would be, is what is your final car that you would like to have in your possession and be able to give all the touches to?
It's so hard, you know what I mean? Because there's so many cars. I'm an Impala guy. I like Impalas, even though I haven't had many. But I'd have to say 61 Impala convertible. It'd be a dream car. 59 convertible. Those are like the ultimate dream cars. Like if money was an option, But realistically, I want a 68 Impala convertible Super Sport. Just. It's something that I could, it's still affordable. I could still get my hands on one and do some stuff too. My brother's always loved them. He got one. I just had to always think about it, and that's kind of what I would like to mess with next.
You should try to get him to sell you his.
His is still, it's a work in progress, but it's nice. I painted it, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. It's candy brandy wine. It's a nice, beautiful car as well. So that's his bad boy.
That's good. That's good. So then you got a '66 Impala.
Yep.
And we checked it out. We drove it earlier.
Yep.
So, what made you get this one?
Well, I was in the market. I wanted something. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I wanted. I wasn't a huge fan of '66s, but this one belonged to my buddy's dad, Freddie Polo Sr., and he's had the car for like over 10 years, and he's a big car guy. He's like one of the original OG car lowrider guys here in town, and he buys and flips and always has cars. But this one he kept for 10 years or more, So he put it up for sale, and he put it at a good price, a pre-COVID price. So I had to go check it out, I went and checked it out. Once I took it for a test drive, I was sold, man. I came back, fucking, with racks in my pocket, and threw them on the table, and he was like, "You're not gonna negotiate?" And I'm like, "No, it's a fair price. It's a good deal. I want it the way it is, how it is, right there."
He is known for having badass cars.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, and they turnkey, they drive. I mean,
Oh yeah.
all his cars have, as long as I've known, they have been flawless.
He was a little sad when he sold them, and his wife was real sad because they got married in the car a few years back.
Oh, no way.
But now, and I when I'm buying the car, I told his wife, I'm like, I don't feel sad for you. He's gonna flip that money and buy something way better.
That's
and now
right.
he got the 6.3 rack top.
Yeah, see?
It's right on the verge of coming out. It's a
Is
beautiful
it?
car, yeah.
Yeah, see, that guy he's always getting into Impalas, man. So I like it, man. You painted
yeah.
this one?
Yeah, it was all stock original, I just threw some 88 spoke Dayton's on it to cruise it for the first year. So last winter I decided to repaint it. Did the paint job, did a new green top on it, put some 72 spoke Zeniths on it. Just kind of make it a nice clean cruiser, a couple little things, little stereo, but it's upgrade time, man.
Oh, is it?
It's upgrade time,
So
bro.
what's the plans? What's the long-term goal for this car?
Hydraulics, nice clean 3-pump setup.
So you're gonna go hydros?
Oh yeah, hydros. I'm gonna miss it because I do love just turnkey jumping in and you know how it is on hydros. It's like you're riding a tank, but there's nothing like hitting the switch,
No, there's not.
So
There's not.
that I'm gonna do full chrome undercarriage. I'm gonna redo the interior, even though my interior is like clean factory OG, but I just want to redo it all nice and fresh, and just kind of upgrade the stereo system a little bit. And then rebuild the motor. It runs good, but it's a little tired,
Mm-hmm.
Swap out the tranny, put a turbo 350 because I got a power glide, and man, that thing sucks on the freeway.
So it's funny because when we were driving, you were making a comment about it. It's not gonna kick into any other gears. You're like, that's it.
Like, that's it. I was like 50 miles an hour, I'm maxed.
Dang. And then with the switches, you can't be having that.
Oh no, I gotta upgrade it. So yeah, I got the tranny and stuff already. I've been, getting all my stuff ready to go. So probably here this week is starting to come apart, man.
Take it down, take it
Yes,
apart.
sir.
Any patterns?
I was thinking about it. It's a possibility. You know, I've been painting cars for over 10 years. Doing that, and that's the thing that I enjoy the most is doing the patterns. You know, the graphics and all the kind of artwork and stuff. And I didn't do it on this one at first because I was like, I'm gonna build more traditional style lowrider, old school, classic. You know, but as I go, and I'm like, I want to put a little bit more of my touches on it. So.
Make it unique.
Yeah, if we got time before the spring comes in, I would love to do some graphics on it, you know.
Okay. Well, when it comes down to it, once you're done, we'll do another episode.
Oh,
man.
I would love to, man. We'll go take a little cruise and hit some switches finally, man.
Oh, yeah, I was telling you, man. I got my Bonnie, man, after like 15 years of finally putting that together and driving it. At first, because I'm getting older. Driving around with the switches, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But then after driving it a couple months and around,
you get used to it. It's brutal, man. You know, you gotta go to the chiropractor.
Chiropractors are my best friend.
You're like, damn, yeah. But there's nothing like it, dude. You know, right now when you're cruising, you know, people hit the switch and you're just kind of like, I could drop the top, but that's about it. You know, can't hit no switch.
Like I said, man. I mean, I like what you've done so far.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And I like I said, I can't wait until it comes out next year.
Yeah, you and me both, man.
Yeah, because I can already tell. I've already looked at your table over there where the goodies are at. So
that's just the beginning, man.
So I already know what's coming. So no, man. Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna close up shop, man.
Yes, sir.
And I thank you for coming on to the show. Like and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, Sneaks1979. Shout out to my cameraman from Weights and Weed. Follow his podcast as well. And we'll see you when we see you. This is Robert, Yakima, Washington.
Take care, man.